Hello, and welcome back to Star Wars Minute. It's the daily podcast where we analyze, scrutinize, and celebrate the Star Wars movies 1 minute at a time. I'm Pete the Retailer from PeteTheRetailer.com.
I'm Alex Robinson from AlexRobinson.fun.
And I'm Jeff May from Jeff May on socials at Hey There Jeffro. I'm on a bunch of stuff, but we don't have enough time to go through the plugs, so you can just find me around there.
Well, yeah, thanks for coming back, Jeff. Welcome back to the show.
I'm so glad to be back. I really am very excited when you guys hit me up to do this, and then you were like, "And here are the minutes," and I was like, "These are the 5 most tolerable minutes of this film." In my opinion.
Oh, great.
Well, slowly your opinion will be revealed.
I don't think I share.
This, but
I don't think I'm going out of my way to share like a controversial opinion about this film. I still love Star Wars. Yikes.
Well, the first of the minutes in question, it starts off, it's minute 106 of Star Wars Episode 9, The Rise of Skywalker. And it starts with Palpatine talking about Rey's hatred and anger. And it ends with Jannah shooting someone out of the sky with a bow and arrow. And so it starts off, Sheev's kind of explaining to Rey what the deal is here. Here's why you're here. Here's what you're going to do while you're here.
Yeah. Finally, the cards are being laid out as to what the plan is.
Yeah. He's like,
you are like here.
A bunch of dudes. So like,
right.
You should probably off me.
Yeah. He's like, this is okay. You're here to kill me. Great. That's what I want. All right. So it works out, you know?
Good.
Hey, please kill me.
Yeah. The reading of that line is so funny. When he says, "You want to kill me? That is what I want." It just sounds so like, you gotta love Ian McDermott's kooky deliveries of some of this stuff.
Ian McDermott never stopped being a theater actor on camera. And that is one of the rare instances where it's paid off in absolute spades. Because, theater, you're going to the back of the hall and it's very, it's very theatrical. It's very operatic. Yeah. It's very, normally if you're watching a movie, you're like, what is Nicolas Cage doing? But here you're like, this is exactly how Palpatine is supposed to behave.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's telling you finally, like you have with movies, you're always talking about what's this character's motivation? What do they want? Here he tells you straight up, here's what I want.
Yeah.
I want to die.
Yeah.
I love how confident
I shouldn't be here. I should be dead. I don't know what's going on. Please kill me.
Somehow I have returned.
I was sleeping peacefully for 30 years, and now what's going on? I don't know.
You know what's funny about this part? Because, I loved... One of the things that I never understood is, the anger that people had for the somehow Palpatine has returned aspect of it, where it's like, they've been telegraphing this across several points of media, when it was like, I think that was kind of the whole point of Mandalorian Season 2 was about the cloning facilities and what they were being used for. And I was like, clearly this is Palpatine. And everyone's like, there's been no information given that why this just came out of nowhere. And I'm like, I think they might be filling in the blanks on a lot of stuff throughout the process.
Yeah.
Use your context clues, people.
Yeah.
Give me my bottle. I need it.
Like I said, I said when we came across it, well, you're surprised that guy, remember his famous line about how he knows how to cheat death? You're surprised that guy's back from the dead out of nowhere?
Yeah, the modern movie fan is like, I need to be given all information at all times. And I don't think that's good. When you look at movies that don't do that, then you get Mad Max Fury Road, where they're like, hey, this is messed up. You can figure it out. Let's go. And now people are like, I need to be told exactly how this happened. And it's like, first off, you probably will.
Right. Unfortunately, you will probably get your wish.
Yeah. I made Snoke. What does that mean? They might tell you down the line. We only have too much time. Yeah. Of all of my problems with Rise of Skywalker, that's an opposite of it. I actually think that's great that they didn't feel the need to be like, and here's how he did it, and here's the facility. They're just like, yeah, he's back. Oh, he's back. Holy smokes. Sorry about that. It took me 3 minutes to curse.
That's all right.
That's good. We got it out of the way. Pete,
Yes.
I wanted to, you mentioned that he said, oh, I have all the Sith, or I forget which one of us mentioned it, but that he has the entire Sith legion inside of him. And it didn't occur to me that is kind of a ring theory about in Revenge of the Sith, where he's like, the Senate will decide. He's like, I am the Senate. So he's always, always incorporating large bodies of people into his, he's a uniter is what he is.
Or maybe that's the Senate that he was talking about. He's like, no, I have my own version of the Senate inside of me right now, and they are making those decisions.
So are we literally to interpret this as all the spirits of all the Sith are inside of him? And if so, does that include Count Dooku and Darth Maul and all the... Don't all the Sith betray each other? Isn't that the whole thing? Like, why would they all be suddenly united in a team?
I have theories.
Let's hear it.
There are two. I think one would be, I think that is literal, because he would not be that confident about getting murked by his granddaughter if he was like, I'll probably end up in you. It's a faith thing, of course, but you know it. It's what I believe.
The law of averages says I will most likely beat you.
Like he's probably like, there's a lot of dudes in me, so I'm going to play the cards and assume that that's what's going to happen.
What's the I'm full of tinier men. What was the
he's the Marishka doll or whatever. And then I don't know if it would be all Sith or all Sith masters. Because always are there two.
Right.
A master and an apprentice. I heard that somewhere.
Somebody told me that.
Where it always gets vague for me is like Count Dooku in the Clone Wars cartoons had Ventress, who was like his apprentice, but was she not technically a Sith because there's only two? And
they were like franchising it out.
Yeah,
you know, like there's a lot of micromanagement in the Sith world.
Right. She was the Sith associate.
Yeah. Right. It was a mainline. It was an MLM pyramid scheme of evil.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
one day maybe you can be Sith too.
You could be technically your own master of your region, and then you can have other Sith associates below you. It's a whole system, but ultimately, I get all the power.
Yeah, that would track. Only the true Sith get the health benefits and all the perks and stuff like that. Like Ventress, independent contractor, no benefits whatsoever. Yeah.
And we finally see the true evil of the Sith, and it is MLM schemes.
Right. They're into pyramids and stuff, so it makes sense.
They do, yeah. Even their little holocrons are little pyramids.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's right there.
The Wayfinder. This is a symbol of our...
This is the model of how it works. You see, you plug this in, and it'll show you that you can get a lot of evil revenue as long as you follow these 3 simple steps.
You'll find your way to riches.
Everybody's giving me 10% of their evil. Look, it's almost unlimited.
Build your way to absolute power.
So then we learn. So Sheev says that in her anger, Rey will kill him, and then his spirit will then leave his body and then go into Rey's body. The spirit of all the Sith will then go into Rey's body, and she will now be the Empress of. This is like John Malkovich, where you like get to go inside of other people and live inside their body. But so is that where
killing she's supposed to Malkovich?
Right. I would love to see that.
She's supposed to kill him, and he's supposed to jump into her body, right?
Yeah.
I would love to see that, like Sheev's point of view. Like all of a sudden, it's just like you see it kind of like Rey's point of view, you know, like literal point of view. But you're hearing Sheev being, oh, this is weird. What am I wearing here? Bandages? What is this? Like him going through, like,
her center of gravity is so much lower than mine.
Yeah.
I would like to add
wobbly.
Yeah, I would like to add that. The biggest thing that kind of throws me over this is she doesn't seem mad at any point in time during this entire conversation. Right. She's just like, no, I'm not going to do that. He's like, but you will. And she's like, she's just like, my parents, they were better than you. Like, she's really just like judoing anger. Like it's in Return of the Jedi, you can see Luke like swelling up with rage the entire time. And even at some point in time, he like open like or down the future, like when he thinks he's gonna get her angry, and she's just like,
Yeah.
like she's more just exhausted with this man, this like ghoul. Yeah. It's like getting haunted by an annoying ghost, where you're just like, just come on, stop it.
Well, plus it's like what is she? Why would he tell her that? That seems like the surest way to get her not to do it is to say, "You will kill me. That's part of my plan is you killing me. So come on, do it." Like, couldn't he just provoke her into killing him and then have it work? And then why give her the clues she needs to thwart him by not attacking him?
And also, the last time you taunted a Jedi with their rage, you got destroyed. Like, you got destroyed, but not in a way that you thought it was going to go. So what? Yeah. You're 0 for 1 on these ones so far. Like, what are you doing?
Well, maybe that's like, it's reverse psychology. He's like, oh, this didn't work at all. So here's what I don't want her to destroy me. And so I'll be like, oh yeah, if you kill me, it's all part of this, Sith. I'll become super powerful. And let's do that. Let's do that. Right.
I'll finally be able to corrupt a Jedi that was trained by the last Jedi that I tried to corrupt that ended up not doing that. But I'm sure it will be different that he taught her quite literally everything he knows. He's just got a hard on for Luke at that point in time, where he's just like, I've got to do something to get him.
It's revenge, indeed.
It's the true revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
So
the petty revenge of the Sith.
Pete, I want to ask you, how Star Wars is this phenomenon of you kill me and my spirit will go into your body? Do you consider this to be Star Wars, or is this magic now?
This is totally bad. This is so funny that we were just talking about this, and I don't mean to start off the week contradicting the guest or on opposition to the guest, but Jeff was saying that these are some of the as far as the minutes of this movie go, these are from his point of view, these are the very the so-called cream of the crop, as it were. It's a low yield crop in his mind, I'm assuming, but that these are some of the better minutes from this, whereas I disagree. This is one of my least favorite parts. I like this movie a lot, and I dislike this stuff because it's too magic-y and too like, so you kill me and my spirit goes into your body, and I'm like, this isn't the Star Wars that I know.
Did you read the Lords of the Sith book?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Good?
I thought this was a podcast for Star Wars fans.
Just the movies.
No, it's it covers a lot of the like sort of, I mean, the Sith have always been, obviously the Force is a mystical force in general, if we want to talk outside of the biology of midichlorians, but the mysticism and like that twisted dark magic aspect of the Sith has existed. I mean, since realistically Return of the Jedi, because you don't get a lot of information through there, but it's always been it's a guy in a twisted wizard in a black robe shooting electricity at people. Like, we've never not had magic wizard Sith.
He's a switch from Snow White. Yeah, like really.
There's Obi-Wan. Depending on how you want to believe. The first time we meet Obi-Wan, he resurrects Luke Skywalker, which is, and I know that people might not necessarily agree with that, but if you look at the peripherals that came out from Star Wars, it is canon in the Star Wars NES game that Ben resurrects characters. It is canon in the Decipher Star Wars card game that he resurrects characters. So, and they both got the Lucasfilm Bible. So healing and resurrection were originally intended to be Jedi powers.
Why did he not resurrect Qui-Gon?
He was a Padawan when that happened.
Oh, okay.
But
and I think also having a hole in you is different than getting bonked on the head by a desert dweller.
Yeah. Because when you like those two things, like the peripherals that come through, because Lucasfilm is famous about like using their Bible, like you can't go too far out. And the Decipher card game was very specific about it. And there was a card, Old Ben. If you lost a character on Tatooine, they are resurrected. Bring them back. and we find out that it takes a lot of your life force to do that, depending on, I'm guessing, the severity of the damage, which is also why when people were angry about force healing in this film,
yeah,
like a lot of people were like, yeah, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, they've been doing that since the first movie, man.
So in Revenge of the Sith, when Obi-Wan leaves Anakin rotting on the beach on fire, he could have healed him, but chose not to.
Why would he? First off, I don't know if he can like Wolverine his legs back, but the other part
there's a cap on this resurrection.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also at the same time, like he just massacred a bunch of kids. Like Obi-Wan made a pretty just decision to be like, we got to get this guy out of here.
Well, but he's the good guy. I feel like he should be like, you should go. I don't know. You might be right. I mean, in that situation, but it's not like they ever take Sith on trial or anything. They just tend to just kill them off. And
he's like a Buddhist kind of good guy, where he's just like, well, you know, people sometimes things die. Like we can't hold on to our attachments. Sometimes things are best when they are removed. We cannot prevent more damage. I mean, the guy carries around a lightsaber. So we can't be like, well, he doesn't want to kill. That dude kills all the time.
Right.
Yeah.
I like the idea of him being like, hey, listen, I know you're on fire right now, but if Qui-Gon's been working on this thing where he can be like, kind of come back. So like, maybe focus on that, I don't know. Yeah. Before you pass on, like, just, reach out to the Force, see if Qui-Gon's out there. He can probably help you with this. All right. I'll see you later. Oh, I'm going to get your lightsaber.
Yeah. Give me that. I'm going to keep it for a trophy for myself.
Yeah. I'm gonna put this in my lightsaber trunk.
One thing, this whole "I will take over your body" kind of idea, I wish even for a few minutes there had been a scene where Sheev had taken over her body and we got to see Daisy Ridley acting like Ian McDiarmid.
She just hunches over a little bit. Walking like Mr. Burns.
Now I'm the bloody power around here.
That would be fun, because then you get Ben Solo showing up, and they could have had an interesting little kind of duel, like a little showdown where Sheev's Palpatine. I'm sorry, Sheev Palpatine. She's Sheev. She's Sheev.
So he wouldn't even know that she was in her. He'd go over and hug her, and they'd start making out and stuff. And then she would be like, "Oh, Kylo."
That's his big scam. That's the big thing. I will kiss this beautiful boy.
Unfortunately, we did not get to see that. Or as soon as he possessed her, he should have thrown himself out the window and down the stairs, and then that would have been the end of it.
The Sheev's assist.
Yeah, the Sheev's assist. Also, is it whoever kills him or only her?
I mean, yeah, if it's just like some random dude just like kicks his ass. Just like absolutely beats the brakes off of him while he's in his little like his brain crane or whatever he's attached to, and just some dude is just beating the brakes off of him. And then it's wow, I got a lot of dark dudes in me now.
What if like Rey like battled him and kind of got, weakened him a little bit, and then like let's say like threw a turtle at him, right? And the turtle technically like hit him in the head, and the turtle is what killed him. Then would all the Sith be in that turtle? And you could have just like, oh yeah, that's the Sith turtle. Don't keep it in like in a cage or something. Yeah, like everybody steer clear of the Sith turtle.
I wonder if the Force works in technicalities like that. If there's a technically, it's like when Batman said he wouldn't kill Ra's al Ghul, and then he does all of the things that would end up killing Ra's al Ghul, and is like, technically I didn't kill you, and then he flies away.
Right.
Like Obi-Wan would say that it's all about those little fine definitions. From a certain point of view, I had nothing to do with his death.
Yeah. From a certain point of view, the turtle is now the most powerful being in the universe.
Right.
Darth Tortus.
Tortus.
Oh, yeah. Well, anything else about Sheev and Rey, or do we move on to the spaceship battle going on upstairs?
Space battle.
Yeah, we can move to the space battle.
Space battles. We get synchronized Star Destroyer ignition. They all turn on their engines at the same time, getting ready to take off.
Those jets are hot. What does he say?
Those thrusters are hot. Thank you, Richard Ollier.
Yeah.
He gets a lot of Rick Ollier lines in this movie. Oh, they fly now. Somehow he returned. He gets a lot of, Rick Ollier lines.
He's the narrator.
One thing I don't understand. They came here. Correct me if I'm wrong. They came here to Exegol because they wanted to get the jump on them, because when they're in the atmosphere, they can't turn on their shields, thus making them vulnerable to attacks by X-Wings, bombers, etc.
Right.
So why are they... Like, shouldn't they be, like, strafing the Star Destroyers and trying to mess them up as much as possible before they can head up?
Well, they're still heavily armored.
So then why are they doing all this?
Strafing them with blasters. I mean, what you got to do is, with them, you have to hit their core, like their reactor cores and things like that. Just strafing them is just wasting your energy while you're in front of their cannons.
So then why aren't they attacking? Batteries. Why aren't they going for the core then?
I think it's because this wasn't well thought out. Not the plan, but the movie itself.
Okay, got it. But in universe, it's just Poe being like, "Hey, let's just go attack them. Let's see what happens." General
Poe.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
And
he's
I think
a Poe general.
Yeah. Sorry.
Not admiral, by the way, but general.
I think they're doing also they're stalling, essentially. They're doing what they can in a little bit, but the idea is like, we'll show up and then everybody else will show up. Like all the reinforcements the cavalry will show up, basically. We're going to just set out here. We're going to take out that tower so the ships can't kind of leave the atmosphere, and then we'll work on getting them.
And the tower is on the main Star Destroyer, right? The one that General Pride is on.
Yeah.
And so that Star Destroyer can't move because...
I mean, it
why can't it fly up into space and send Finn and all his friends into the vacuum of space? Why are they staying at level where all these humans can run around and breathe and stuff on the ship?
I think it may be because
it wasn't thought out.
Wasn't well thought out.
All right, fair enough.
I hate to use that as like some form of plot.
Yeah.
I also do a rewatch podcast, and I get it, but sometimes you're just like, and this is because they didn't think about it when they were writing it. Like
so General Pride didn't think of it in the context of the battle. Oh, why do we go up?
It's just this kind of like, it's basically a traveling shield from the forest moon of Endor. Like it's basically that. They're doing Endor again, but now it's on a ship.
Got it. Okay. And instead of, it's a kind of, they're kind of, it's the same basic structure, but
yeah. I've noticed that the several little parallels. Obviously, they watched, but perhaps unsurprisingly, they watched Return of the Jedi to be like, how do they end that one? Oh, okay, let's do some of that.
People on the ground with bombs.
Change things up a little bit.
All right, let's do people on the ground with bombs.
Great. Yeah.
Okay, but what if the ground was in the air?
On the positive side of
we'll flip it completely. The ground is in the air.
Yeah, that makes it a totally different movie. It's like in the Force Awakens. It's not a Death Star. It's like a mega Death Star. So it's clearly a different scenario.
Totally different. Totally
different. Not Death Star, it's a Death Planet.
Yeah.
On the positive side,
the individualism of J.J. Abrams when he is confined to Disney's needs.
I do like there's one shot especially where you see when they're running around on the ship and or I don't know, they're flying, I don't remember, but you see there's like clouds and there's some kind of like a light source in it so there's like a lights behind these little fluffy clouds, and I don't know, it just looked cool. I wanted to say something positive. I like visually, you can't flaw the movie. I'll say that.
The Star Destroyers in like the haunted clouds is a jarring thing to see. Yeah. It is. I would in no circumstance would I say this movie looks bad.
Yeah. Right. In fact, I would say probably the flaw of it is like they came up with a bunch of cool conceptual things like, oh, look at that, Star Destroyers in the fog. Let's use that. Oh, look, C-3PO with the bandolier and carrying the crossbow. Let's use that. And then they kind of said, okay, now how can let's try to use as many of these cool images as we can and
throw them out on the floor and make a story out of it.
A lot of polish on the turd, but this is definitely like the battle is interesting. You did mention the one thing where I was watching the minute clip and I was like, I'm glad we finished on this, which is the fact that she snipes a fighter out of the out of the sky with a laser bow and arrow. And I don't know why that's the thing. Like, I don't know why my willing suspension of disbelief stopped at that point where I'm just like, no. Meanwhile, a guy's like, kill me and then I'll be in your body. And I'm like, that's exactly how this goes. But when a person shoots an arrow at a moving target, for what seems like at least a mile away or something, like it can't be that close.
Well, I think it is. It's one of the flying stormtroopers, right? That she hits. It's one of the red flying stormtroopers. I thought it was a
starfighter. That's even worse. It's a smaller target.
But after she hits him, you do see him flail for a second, I think, and unless he's like ejecting from something. But yes, it's not my. I know you. Oh, look at that.
I had the hot toys of that from back when I worked at the old company that I used to work at, and they were the hot toys distributor, and they gave me one, and then I sold it. Because I didn't.
I like that Star Wars is getting on the Hunger Games bandwagon by introducing a lady archer into the mix. Sure. I'm sure they sold a lot of Jannah bows to all the people. Although this seems like she should finally be wearing her goggles in this situation. Like, seems like if you're outside on a spaceship in a battle, that seems like a good time to put your little glasses down.
Is this the first? And I'm sorry for being presumptuous. Is this the first black woman we've had in the main saga? I know we had Tandy Newton in Solo,
right?
But
I mean, we've seen like background people, like
but it is. They were like, oh yeah, we forgot
the first speaking.
Like a main character, yeah.
And not in makeup, because Maz is
looks just like her.
Right. Yeah,
it's not.
Why can't I remember?
Yeah. You go back to Ula if you want to do that.
Lupita Nyong'o,
Lupita Nyong'o. I couldn't grab her name right there, but so she's technically in there, but she's totally there's a couple of people who are. But yes, probably.
That seems so unfortunate that they have gone 9 episodes before you got a black woman with like lines.
Is somebody yelling at us about like a Jedi that we forgot about in Attack of the Clones?
Probably.
Or something? I don't know.
Yeah, there might. I'm sure.
But the fact that we're forgetting about them, they're clearly not very,
right.
Yeah.
Not as memorable as Jannah.
Nope.
Everybody's
Jannah Calrissian.
And their space horses.
Yeah.
Space horses.
Space horse.
They're like, jam their speeders. They're not using speeders. Oh wait, we haven't gotten there yet. I'm sorry. My bad.
Oh, no, that happened. That happened last week.
Yeah.
Oh, was that last week? Okay. Yeah. So if that was last week, because I did rewatch the movie last night. Thanks.
Wow.
Thank you.
I got a week of recordings. I got to watch this movie again because the last time I saw it was the first time I saw it in the theater. But I do love that they were like, we have space Clydesdales, and we're gonna we're gonna bring them in a ship that probably smells great. We're gonna warp them. I'm sure they're gonna love it. Like as soon as I saw them break out of the ship, I was like, how did they get them there comfortably? Like in any way that would make them okay when they got out. Yeah. The Force. Yeah, there it is.
Right. Yeah, they calmed them with the Force.
The Force horse. That's what it is.
Right, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, that's Pete, I feel like you brought it up last week and I kind of didn't really catch it, but like it seems weird that they don't have any. The only way they can stop a boarding party is if they're in speeders. If they're not in speeders, they're completely clueless as to how to stop someone from landing on top of their ship. And it seems kind of like that would be something that either the rebels should be exploiting or that the Imperials should be remedying, which I guess they are after this. But
it's a little bit like, it's that little snippet is an encapsulated borrow from the Ewoks. You know what I mean? It's just like, oh, well, they can't. The technology versus the quote unquote primitive technology of the people, so it's like they're just using a little like a little soupçon of that kind of idea, but not as well thought out or utilized here.
It would have been very funny if they had installed like Home Alone style traps all along there. So
On
they
the
were like
Star
slipping
Destroyer,
on space micro machines.
Oh,
Also,
totally.
they're like in the upper atmosphere, right?
Yes.
What is the
Presumably.
temperature of the upper atmosphere of Exegol that people can just walk around in like a light jacket and just be like, this is fine? Like,
Yeah. Not to mention breathing. I mean,
yeah, like it
Right.
seems like JJ, I have only one problem with this film. What's the deal with people being able to breathe up there? But then again, also there's a old resurrected wizard puppeting around over there, talking to the granddaughter whose body he wants to be inside of. So, you know,
There's that part too.
yeah.
Think of it as like a dream. This is all just kind of an elaborate dream while Finn is in the coma at the end of episode 1.
Yeah, right.
Episode 7, I meant. Episode 1
Right.
of the new trilogy, but yes.
Episode 7, also known as episode 4, part 2.
Right.
Yes.
Well, since we're talking numbers, does anybody have anything else for 106 specifically? The battle kind of continues into tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to shout about the. It's not. I'm not a military tactician. I'm not. I know it's surprising, but I'm not a strategist or any kind of officer or anything like that. But
Officer.
with the way they shout, where it's like they're like BB-8's got to unlock the thing, and like I'll cover you, and then they just kind of like go out. They like expose themselves. They're out in the middle of nowhere, and then kind of shooting. I feel like they could have done a better job covering from where they were to kind of keep like the idea behind covering. I think
There were 2 people covering.
yeah, I think the way, like when the people in movies say covering, I think they don't really know what covering means. I think they're just shouting some
It's something you
army
yell
sounding
in a
stuff.
battle. Like, good luck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So I could be wrong if there are any high-ranking generals or anything like that out in the audience listening to this. Just give us a shout. Let me know if what they're doing is actually a valid military technique.
Yeah, you'd think if everything is cruxed on BB-8, they would have had more than 2 people with him protecting him.
Right.
They would have been like, "Hey, can we get like a couple more people to like just lay out in front of him, maybe,
or like drive the RV over in front of it,
drag
like block
a
it off.
body over,
Yeah,
like grab a couple of Sith troopers and just kind of like circle BB-8 with them for cover." That's like sandbags.
yeah,
Although blaster fire clearly goes right through that armor still.
yeah.
We should keep in mind also the 2 people leading this charge are people who quit Stormtrooper school before they kind of finished. So maybe they didn't get up to the cover of all these kind of good ideas that they should have done, but they're like, oh, right. Why didn't we think of that? Because they
Should know about
like
dead
dropouts.
Yeah, but they should know about dead Stormtrooper bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
it's
true.
true.
That's one thing.
That's
they
something
should
they
be
probably
familiar
did
with. Especially
encounter.
Finn being the janitor.
Yeah.
I'm sure he had to clean up all sorts of messes.
Oh, he also had that bloody handprint on his forehead from it.
I can't believe they made him the janitor. They totally undermined his character for the sake of one joke about him being like, I was the janitor. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. And now it's part of his
right? Yeah, like
now it's part of his character for all time. Although they don't really seem to dwell on it very much. That's all I got.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, it continues tomorrow into 107. Jeff, you think you can come back tomorrow for another episode?
Oh yeah. I have literally committed this this entire week for you guys. Like,
oh, good. All right.
I cleared my schedule. I canceled all 34 of my other podcasts, just so I could be here for you guys. So yeah.
Do you want to plug a few of those podcasts while we're here?
I mean, my flagship show is called Jeff Has Cool Friends. It's a long form interview in the same style of the one that I had for that old toy company that I used to work for. You can find that for free everywhere, or you can go to patreon.com/JeffMay, JEFFMAY, and you get early access to uncensored episodes with bonus content. Plus, I do shows like Ugh Fine with Kim Krall on the monthly, as well as a show called Nerd with Dre Alvarez, which is a monthly deep dive into something really intense. I think this month we're doing a season on movies about children being neglected.
Wow.
So I think we're doing like a Searching for Bobby Fischer, Adventures in Babysitting, and then there's like one more that we're doing. But we have a lot of fun on that one. I also do a Batman rewatch called Tom and Jeff Watch Batman with Tom Ryman. That's on the Gamefully Unemployed network. And I also do several shows on the You Don't Even Like This network, formerly known as Unpopular Opinion. So if you guys are Cracked fans, then you might be familiar with that. From back in the day. And I do like You Don't Even Like Sports, You Don't Even Like This Show. And I do also pack breaking. I just opened some Star Wars cards not too long ago on my Instagram and YouTube. I pulled I pulled a numbered Han Solo from the Topps 2023. Yeah, the new set.
So you were not exaggerating when you said you had 37 podcasts.
I do. It's funny whenever you do have plugs, and it's like, well, how long is the show? Because I do. I'm a professional podcaster, and that is as sad as it sounds. I work my butt off for less than what I made as a teacher back in the day, but I love what I do. So
yeah,
exactly. Yeah. We love to have you here doing what you do with us.
I love to.
And we'll have more of that tomorrow on a brand new Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.
Star Wars Minute.